Hello, Culture Matters podcast. We're back again with another culture content. Before I introduce our topic, here's a quote just for this episode. The most important thing in communication is hearing what is what isn't said. Peter Drucker. The topic today is the role leadership plays in culture formation. The role leadership plays in culture formation. Firstly, what is culture? The ways that we do things around here. Is the spirit in the air? See, rather than we might not, it might be easier to detect when culture isn't playing a role. You can feel it, it's palpable. It People aren't talking to one another, people aren't saying hi and hello, people aren't looking each other in the eyes. People don't want to be in the office. People don't have friends at work. People don't want to bring issues up to the table. It's better left unsaid than spoken. There's fear, there's uncertainty, there's anxiety, there's potentially um, resentment, emotions, feelings, thoughts have been repressed. The feedback loops are breaking down. The communication channels are vague and opaque. It's unclear who's on first, who's on third, who's in charge. Where are we going? What's the future look like? The leaders, the leader's role in culture formation is, I mean, that's quite literally the leader's job, is to curate, curate culture, curate the communication flows that over time through behaviors that are acted out that become habits and rituals on an individual and a group level. An individual, this is my job. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm actually doing. This is who I am in my role. I'm proud of this. I'm proud of me. I'm proud of my job. I'm proud of the work that I'm doing. I respect the people that I work with. I'm proud of the organization I work with. I align with what we stand for and why we stand for it. I'm a part of a team. I like my coworkers. They like me. I trust them. They trust me. The leader's role in culture formation is that. That is the role of the leader. The leader is it's almost like every leader that has leader in authority, because every individual is both a follower and a leader in different contexts. Every individual is a leader and a follower in different contexts. And when a leader is unwilling to be a follower in one context, they will abdicate leadership in another. The distinction between the a leader is someone we want to follow, we desire to follow. There's a choice involved. We are choosing to follow them. Tyrant, we have to follow them. Both are in positions of authority. Both have influence. How they use their authority, there are different types of influence, like coercion, force, inspiration. Um, Inspiration in spirit. We see, so like how a leader impacts culture formation. The presence, they're present mentally, emotionally, they're vested. Proximity, they're engaged, they're there. We can see them, we spend time with them, we understand their values because we've seen the alignment between what they say and think and what they do. they're consistent in their behaviors. They are a product of what their vision is. We aspire to them. They are in spirit. We are inspired to follow them. In the absence of inspired to follow them, then we have to be coerced or pushed or prodded or incentivized. Or incentivized to be tugged and pulled and prodded towards the goal. And nobody likes that. The person in position of authority and influence doesn't like that. And the person and the people with lesser authority and influence don't like that. The leader's role in culture formation is to continually renew it. If everyone is a leader and a follower in a different context, the leader is continuing to model the value system. They're continue they're a part of their role is to that's that why they picked that quote to hear what isn't said, to continue to open up the communication channels of those subordinate to them and relay information to those superior to them. So, like, for example, even the CEO has those that they report to. Even if there's not a board, it's not a public company, they're going to report to, like, even if there's not investors that they're not accountable to, they're accountable to their, especially like if it's a small company that doesn't yet have a board, that doesn't even have investors, they're accountable to their biggest clients that are they're going to be a lion's share of the revenue is because any price is law in the this conversation also becomes is contextually relevant because at different sizes of organizations, different components of the cycle of organizations, it changes the answer to this because it in a founding business, the founder is the culture is the relationship between the founder and their customers, like that relationship, the relating between the two parties, how the service, how the business is made, how the business is fulfilled, how the business is kept. The how reveals the values, reveals the narrative, reveals the culture that the future employees model. Like those feedback loops, like how deep are the relationships that we have with our customers? Do we really understand our customers? Are we listening to our customers? Are we solving our customers' problems? Are we improving the quality of our customers' lives through our products and services? What does that look like? Is that top of mind? Is that part of our culture? You know, what is this business about? Is it just about ourselves, or is it about ourselves through how we serve others? The leadership, the formation of the culture, the leadership, the beginning of the business. I mean, that's the inception of the culture because it's that relationship between the organization and customers. Now, as an organization grows, the complexity that never changes, but the focus can be we can lose focus of the customer, which ultimately has negative impacts on the culture because the organization becomes more and more self-oriented versus service-oriented, other-oriented. The more self-oriented it becomes and not other-oriented, like the order matters. It's going to be other-oriented than self-oriented. Other-oriented to customers, self-oriented and employees and team. But there's a tension between like employees and team and customers the larger the organization gets, and that can lead to more and more bureaucracy and politicization and selfishness and short-sightedness and what's in it for me. And that's prevalent in our culture today, like with the proliferation of private investment, more and more hands in the pot, um, the general culture of our general, values are changing around work and ethic. As all of that changes, leadership, the types of leadership that are out there is changing. The role of leadership in culture formation is the original story is the founder's story. Like, why was the company started? What's the purpose of the company? How is it providing value to customers? And where is it going? Like, the story of the founder, the story of the founding is a part of what sells the vision to investors, to initial customers, to initial employees. That's the energy, that's the spirit that people buy into. And over time, that has to be translated. And it gets translated into values. Like, this is what we believe, this is what we stand for, and this is what we expect, and this is what we need to um, hold each other to account by. The DNA of our organization. What was once the character of the founders, now the culture of the group, the identity of the organization. How clear is that, and how well do we live to it? The leader, the founding leader, plays the role as the inception of that story in their behavior, in their why, in 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 those early years. And as an organization grows and other individuals in positions of leadership, of authority and influence, how they lead reflects the culture, the questions that they ask, how they respond to conflict, how they hire, how they fire, the types, the not just the types of people, but the seasons that the people that they hire are in. And the leader impacts the culture formation constantly and perpetually. It's a never-ending relationship and a never-ending engagement. So it's like presence in mind, in mental, in emotional, proximity, in physicality, and then therefore in spirit. Because um, the values, responsibility is modeled, accountability is given or taken. Responsibility is modeled, and we see behavior. Like, the leader that is not engaged, that expects their people to be engaged or more engaged, is on the pathway to tyranny, the pathway to coercion, the pathway to, because everyone knows the hypocrisy is there and they're not going to say it, they're not going to share it. Or if they do, there's going to be repercussions, because the 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 infantile leader, the hypocrite, the person in a position of authority, they're going to feel insecure. They're insecure in their leadership. They're going to listen more poorly. They're going to break down communication flow, and they're going to disempower the people, and the culture will become noxious. So the leadership's role in culture formation is it's the inception, the genesis of it, and the founding of the organization, and the continual renewal as an organization continues to grow and reinvent itself through the ups and downs of market cycles, of business cycles, of organizational cycles. And leadership is a key component in a company's culture, its story, its values, right? Language, its rituals, it's the symbols that represent, it's the meaning that people attribute to the organization and customers to the brand. And that's why leaders, so much books are written about leadership, and so much effort is put into leadership. And leaders have to constantly be unlearning to learn anew and improving themselves. And a fundamental principles, or you can't take these out. It's like the attention to the customers, and the complete sacrifice and investment into the organization by those uh, in positions of ultimate authority and influence and power is key to stave off the natural inclination to slow down. Not slow down to rest, to get better, but to slack off, to stop paying attention, to let sin come in, or as in Greek, amartia, to miss the mark. Sin as in not have a goal, not sin as in just like on a personal level. Leader's role in culture formation is culture, because the culture is about the people, and each individual is an intermediary of what is and what could be, the known and the unknowns, and the leader represents that process, that mediating process for the team. And we all know, yeah, we know the leaders that we want to follow, and we know the leaders that we feel like we have to. Which one are you?